make book-related videos every single Wednesday, and today we're going to be talking about one of the things that I am looking forward to most in just all of 2018, and that is the fact that one of my favorite books of all time is becoming a TV show, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. So I know that after I posted my review, which I'll link up here, which I will say first, my review has no spoilers, and this video will also not have any spoilers for the book. I'm gonna just talk about a brief summary of it at a high level, but I know that after I reviewed that book, so many of you guys read it and loved it just as much. I've read every single article on this becoming a TV show that I can get my hands on so that I can kind of just summarize it all for you guys in this video, and we can discuss what we're excited about and maybe what we're not excited about. So I'm going to talk about the fact that it's on Lifetime, I'm going to talk about the cast, just all of that stuff. And I will say first, I highly recommend following Caroline Kepnes on Instagram because she updates so regularly there about how the show is going, about the casting and all of that. So definitely make sure you follow her if you want like the most up-to-date regular updates on the show. So on the off chance that you have not read You, which I think most of you guys, if you're subscribed to my channel, I want to say like 50% of you guys have read this, but it is a psychological thriller told from the point of view of Joe. Joe helps to run a small bookshop in New York City, and one day he meets Beck, and Beck is a young woman, she's an aspiring writer, and he meets her and is just kind of immediately obsessed. He finds her Twitter account and begins to follow her there and just on social media so that he can get to know as much of her as possible, so that he can kind of manipulate the situation and get her to fall in love with him. And throughout the book you just realize more and more how psychotic Joe is. So it's unique in the fact that usually these types of books are told from the girl's point of view, where she's being kind of like hunted and stalked by a guy, but this is the reverse. So first I want to talk about the network and the fact that this is going to be a TV show on Lifetime. Now I will admit, when I first saw You by Caroline Kepnes Lifetime, part of me was like, oh no, are they making this into like one of their like just standard Lifetime sort of cheesy movies? But the more I've looked into it, and I know you guys have been kind of tweeting me and you're like, what's your opinion that the fact this is on Lifetime? And I know some of you guys maybe are not super excited about that fact. The more I've looked into it, the more I'm actually excited, and I think it is going to be really, really good. And that's because I feel like there's a lot of, and this goes for any channel, but I feel like especially on Lifetime there's a lot of varying levels of quality content. Some of the movies are really cheesy and over the top, some of their Lifetime movies are really good, and then you have really quality TV shows like Unreal, if you guys have seen that. That's a drama that's sort of like a behind the scenes look at like a fake Bachelor type reality show that is so smart and so well done. So Lifetime can do quality content. I think it just has a bad stereotype just because of some of its cheesier movies. The writers and producers behind You, the TV show, are Greg Berlanti, who's been behind shows like Riverdale, Dawson's Creek, Supergirl, and Sarah Gamble, who helped to, I believe it was write or produce or both the TV show The Magicians. So at this point I at least think that Lifetime is thinking this is probably going to be a big hit show, so they're willing to put in that money for the cast and the writers and producers and everything like that. From what I can tell on IMDb, I believe it's going to be 6 episodes, and that's for season 1. I haven't obviously heard anything about there possibly being a season 2 yet. So even though there is a second book in the series, I believe this first season is just focusing on book 1, which I think is perfect, and I think 6 episodes sounds just the right length. I think if they had dragged it out to 10 or 12 episodes, that would have been too much. I think 6 just sounds perfect. So now getting into our favorite part, which is the casting. So Joe is going to be played by Penn Badgley. I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize him from Gossip Girl. But I have to say, this is one of those few times where when I found out the casting for someone from a book that I loved coming to life, it was so perfect based on what I had personally imagined when I was reading the book. Penn Badgley just is Joe. And it's funny even when you think about like the ending of Gossip Girl. I feel like we all know it at this point, but it's just very funny and fitting that he is playing Joe. You know, he's someone who creeps and gets too involved in women's lives, and that's what he did in Gossip Girl, so it's pretty fitting. And then Beck is going to be played by Elizabeth Lail. Now I don't have too much to say about her casting just because I haven't seen anything she's been in before, but apparently she plays Anna in Once Upon a Time. So if you guys are familiar with Once Upon a Time, you'll recognize her, but so she's going to be playing Beck, Joe's main love interest. And then Peach is going to be played by Shay Mitchell, which I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize from Pretty Little Liars. Peach is one of Beck's really good friends in the book. From what I remember reading the book, and granted it's been a while, I don't think Peach was like a main character, but it will be fun to see her in the show. And then I thought this next part was really fun casting, and that is that Dr. Nikki, who is not Peaches, who is Beck's therapist, is going to be played by John Stamos. And I have to admit, I just really need to reread this book because I barely remember Dr. Nikki's character. It's just been a while, which just gives me an idea. But if you guys have any interest in maybe doing a you read along where maybe we all read the book throughout the month. Maybe some of you guys for some reason haven't read it yet. Maybe some of you guys who read it right after I did around the same time want to reread it. Maybe we can read it a month or two before the show comes out. And that leads me into the next point, which is the premiere date. Now I looked a lot to try and figure out when this was coming out. And at this point, I think all that's been said is that it's coming out in 2018, but it's unknown the month or the specific date. And I assume it's going to be quite a while before it comes out, at least maybe 6 months or so. And I'm guessing this based on my zero knowledge about the film or television industry, just because it was just announced a month ago that John Stamos was cast, which in my mind means they're not already filming, but I could be wrong. So that is all the information I have on You, the upcoming TV show. Please let me know your thoughts about this, if you're happy or maybe upset about some of what's going on with the show. But I have to say overall, I am really happy, and it looks like Lifetime understands we need to do a really good job with this show, or else all of the fans obsessed with this book are gonna be really upset. If you guys enjoyed this video, my next video will be my favorite books of 2017, but I'm currently reading a book right now I'm really loving. What is it called? All the Great and Terrible Things. I'm forgetting what it's called, but that one I feel like will be a favorite, so that's why I keep stalling on wrapping up 2017. But that will be my next video, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.